Okay, so apparently, I've never seen this. Apparently, I need to take this stuff out of here because I guess 5 is the most tabs you can have and it's almost full? Welp, I mean... Yo, what's up, guys? I want to show you my new favorite farming strategy I cooked up. So let's start by looking at my shop here. Take a look at the earnings tab. As you can see, I currently have 4 tabs that are completely full. So this is 2,880 chaos in each of these tabs. I'm working on a 5th tab now, kind of on a mission just to see how many of these tabs I can get filled up before the end of the league, because, you know, why not? Anyway, enough about that. Looking at the sales history, so mostly what I'm selling to get all this currency is maps. Let's just go over like a couple of them, right? So this strand, 52 chaos, this was an originator map. This one as well, originator map. And then, you know, also tier 16, just regular tier 16, 8 mods, anywhere from like 4, 5, 7. Some of the really bad, like, you know, minus max res, reflect, cannot regen, you know, all the worst mods are only like 3 chaos each. But I'd say like on average, they're about 5C a piece. And we get quite a few each map we run. So, ooh, this one, Dunes, 90 chaos. That was an originator map. This one here, also an originator map, only 12 chaos. So it is, you know, dependent on what roles they have, but overall it's pretty good. Also sell, you know, ziggurats. That's the tier 17 tied to Toxic Sewer, which is the map I'm running. Oh, and look, here's someone coming to buy more of my maps. I love this setup because once you get it going, it's kind of just automatic. You run maps, you toss them in your shop, you run maps, you toss them in your shop, and then people come in and out of your hideout all day just buying your maps, giving you currency. It's great. Also, right, mind you, all this currency is not, you know, because I do sell scarabs. I don't have any listed right now because they all went through, but I do sell a lot of scarabs as well. We also just get like, you know, raw currency drops. You know how it is. You play Path of Exile, but I think it's still kind of crazy how much we get just from selling maps. Anyway, I do want to say before we get into it, oh, look, there's another one. I love it. I love it. There are some pretty crazy strats out there, okay? Super juicer strats that just flood the screen with maps. A lot of it's using the blight mechanic. However, they're super difficult. They require a lot of upfront cost, right? We're talking you're spending 3 or 4 divine per map activation. And they're kind of time consuming as well. So the vast majority of players aren't really doing them. You know, you see the YouTube videos, right? And it's entertaining to watch, but it's not something you actually like do yourself. This, however, I have been in the lab, all right? I've been trying to cook up for the past like 3 or 4 days what is the cheapest scarabs that I can possibly use and still make a respectable amount of currency in each of my play sessions. And so this is the strategy that I've, you know, pretty much settled on. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. More than anything, I'm just actually enjoying, even this late into the league, I'm just enjoying playing the game. So I think that, you know, earns it at least another 10 points, right? Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the setup and talk about the Atlas and the Scarabs and the favorite map slots, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so taking a look at the Scarabs, I use 3 Cartography Scarab of the Multitude. This adds 8 to 12 additional packs of enemies that drop increased maps. Currently, these are 2 for 1 Chaos, so that puts our total so far at 1.5 Chaos. Cartography Scarab of Escalation are 3 for 1 Chaos. Let's just call it half a Chaos, so that puts our total to 2. And Cartography Scarab of Corruption is currently 1.5 Chaos, bringing our total cost per map to 3.5 Chaos. I gotta tell you, I said this was gonna be a cheap strategy. That's about as cheap as I can come up with, man. 3.5 Chaos per map activation. Ooh-wee. We're also not spending anything on the map device. We're just doing the free item quantities. So yeah, that's it. That's 3.5 chaos per map activation, and I think that we'll find we're going to make a lot more per map than 3.5C. Anyway, let's talk about the Atlas and the favorite map slots. Okay, so looking at the atlas, I do use singular focus, so I have 200% more chance to drop my favored maps. You have to be real careful when you use this keystone because it does prevent you from dropping unique maps entirely. Anything that you don't have favorited will drop as currency instead. For this strategy, I do prefer using it. I've done it both ways, and I think just keeping it where all of the drops are good layouts is way more efficient in terms of selling maps, because otherwise you're going to drop a bunch of unwanted layouts that nobody runs. I do have some delirium chance. I'm not really concerned with the delirium rewards themselves, so I don't take imagined pursuits or compulsive hoarder. It's just to get delirium on the map because it makes the existing packs more rewarding. I do block all the stuff that has like cheap scarabs. Legion, I mean, Legion Scarab of Eternal Conflict is kind of worth something, but mostly I just want to skew my scarabs because these points, not only do they prevent the mechanics from appearing, but they actually remove the drop chance for their scarabs from the drop pool, so it skews your odds toward dropping more preferred scarabs like Ultimatum or Ambush scarabs, speaking of which, do take trapping carapaces for that increased ambush. Yeah, we got Searing Exarch, all the pack size stuff. And other than that, map tiers are higher tier. You want those for sure. And then scarabs, hence the pathing going the long way around here. It's pretty basic atlas, pretty much it. Talk about the favored map slots. Oh, and I will put a link down in the description, of course, to the PoE planner. So I'm running Toxic Sewers, so I 4 times favorite that just to self-sustain 8 mod Toxic Sewers. I actually over-sustain them. I do have a map regex I use, so any of them that don't fit my regex, I just sell them. It's actually a sought-after layout. It's a really nice map. I kind of prefer running it. So then Strand and Dunes are the other favored. And that's just because these sell the most frequently, especially the originator maps. A lot of people are looking for these two layouts. And so with the keystone there, since it's 200% more chance to be favored maps, well, if it was 100, that would be double. So 200 is triple, right? So in a way, it's kind of like we've got Dunes 12 times favorited, Strand, and Toxic Sewer. It's like we've got them all 12 times favorited since we're doing it for each, and then that gets tripled by the keystone. Okay, so let's quickly go over how I'm pricing these maps. So I keep a regex on my notepad here. I've got one that's for me running, one for selling. This one down here is for checking scarabs. I'll put all 3 of these down in the description. So like, since, I mentioned it, let's go copy, go to my scarabs. This will highlight all the scarabs worth 3 chaos or more, so everything from Ultimatum Scarab of Catalyzing all the way down to Scarab of Monstrous Lineage, just to help me save time in, getting everything sold. It does not bother highlighting any of the horned scarabs because those are obvious, and all my other scarabs that don't fit this I end up just throwing in my guild stash, but that's beside the point. And then, of course, I got these, which is what I'm running, and I just sell all my other scarabs. But side note, let's talk about how I price the maps. So for that, I'm going to grab this regex right here, which filters out Reflect, Cannot Leech, Cannot Regen, Less Recovery, Minus to All Resist, and Monster Critical Strike Multiplier. So any of them that are safe, 'cause these are basically just like very commonly regexed filters or modifiers on this. So like all these maps, we'll say 5 chaos, right? Why not? Oh, manage shop. Well, someone cleaned me out, man. Holy moly. Let's see here. 5, 5, 5. Yep, get those all listed for 5. And then the next thing, we look for Reflect, Cannot Regen, and Minus to All Resist, which I just keep that as the name of my tab. So then all these, I'll list for 4. And then the rest of them, pretty much, you might try to list them for 4, but I just go straight to 3. And then a lot of the time what'll happen, you know, is someone will come to your shop to buy one map, and then they'll type their regex down in here, or copy paste it rather, and then they'll just buy all of them that fit your regex, as long as they're not, you know, unreasonably priced. So then all these that failed the regex will say 3 chaos, why not? You can, if you want, take a little extra time and look at the maps, and if they've got something like increased rare monsters, increased magic monsters, stuff like that, you might squeeze another chaos out of it. Originator maps, so these ones you might have to manually price check. I've done it enough times that I kind of just have a feel for it. So like this one here, nothing really too special. I mean, it's 50 more maps, 70 more currency. I just toss it in there for like 12. Okay, more maps, more scarabs, more currency. Maybe we get away with 14. Okay, 126 more currency. That one's not bad. Let's say that's 18. And then this one here, yeah, let's do like 12. And then last but not least, the tier 17s. Oh my gosh, 280 more currency. I'll probably just put that up for a divine. Yeah, let's just do one div. Oh. Cool. Anyway, I guess that about covers it. I think this will be a really good strategy for next league, you know, assuming that these scarabs here are still, dirt cheap. It might be a good league start strat for sure. So, anyway, I guess that's it. All right.